But I think that just, I don't know, Buffalo is just riding the wave right now based off emotions, Damar Hamlin. So I think they got this. I don't see it.
We're going to get into that.
Let's jump right in. Yo, what up, everybody? Tuesday night, Ray Bones on the hook. We got my man Nader and Jordan on here tonight. Kev Mike will be joining us shortly. Mr. Smith was having technical difficulties. He will not be joining us at this moment, but if he decides he wants to jump on, we would love to hear from Smitty. Nader, what's going on, buddy?
What is going on, boys? Happy Tuesday. It's a good night to be on. It's cold, miserable outside, so why not let's get into some baseball. Let's get into some football. We got kind of a big football weekend coming up if nobody knew, but
enormous
well.
Football.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, appreciate you very much. So, Jordan, how you doing tonight, bro?
Good. I'm ready to get into this.
Ready to get into it, sniffles or not? Jordan with a 101 talent.
Got a little cold going on?
Yeah, 101.6 fever, but we got to grind because we on the hook.
We on the hook,
We on the
hook. I love it. That's what I want to hear. Dedication, man. Hey, mom can't go to school. Temperature's too high. Feeling a little warm. But I got to talk some sports tonight. And I can do that right from my cozy bedroom. Title of the show tonight, The Conspiracy Theory. It's been all over the place. I know Jordan brought up, was it last week, Jordan, you brought up the Roy G. Biv?
Yeah.
That was last week. So a little to add. It might be a little disappointing to you because as far as I can remember, Jordan, do you have the Ravens winning the Super Bowl this year?
I do.
You do. All right. Here's bad news for you. I apologize. And sometimes I'm the bearer of bad news. The team that has the most color in the logo has unfortunately been the loser. So going back, and if you haven't heard or you did not listen to us last week, it was mentioned that, and I'm sure you have been hearing it because the conspiracies are everywhere. The logo colors have been the matchups for the last two Super Bowls, orange and red representing the Bengals and the Rams, orange and yellow, I'm sorry, Bengals and the Rams. Most of that was in orange, the winner, the Rams, followed up by the Eagles and the Chiefs. Most of that one was green, little touch of red. Winner of that one was just a little touch of red. There's no blue, so the Detroit Lions are out. And there is no red, so the Kansas City Chiefs are eliminated. Even though we might think that Taylor Swift is going to be able to put the world on hold, cancel her tour in Japan, and watch her boo-boo Travis Kelce play some football. To be determined, but it's looking good for the Niner fans. Bang, bang, Niner gang. Send it over. Write their name on the Lombardi. It's a wrap. So, sorry, Jordan, to shatter your heart into a million pieces. I'm sure that you have something over there that you can put it back together.
Probably, but I think we should get right into before we get into the conspiracy, probably just talk more about the games before I kind of put it on.
Oh, you're gonna drop it like it's hot. Look at this.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this guy, huh?
Kev Mike, you savage animal. Have you been doing show?
Dude,
oh,
he's jacked.
He's flexing too. Oh my.
Push-ups and sit-ups, baby.
Let's go, dude.
Push-ups and sit-ups. What the hell are you sitting up on?
Harder. Keep going, boys.
Dude, I remember a while back when we first started doing this, Kev was always like the cutoff t-shirt dude and then the tank top dude, and he's bringing it back to life. So
I personally love it. It's like a trademark at Kev's,
It's it's like one of those things that he does. What's on that shirt anyway?
Kenny Powers, my hero, dude. Yeah, dude.
Tis the baseball season. I know Jordan in our group chat, he brought up, looks like the Yankees are going to be doing a little bit of little touching up on their jersey, on their away jersey, their gray jerseys.
Yeah.
What's that gonna look like?
So from what I saw, it looks like they're going to like you know how they have like the white outline on all the numbers and letters and stuff. So basically, they're gonna take that out, make it look like more of the Field of Dreams jersey back when they played in Field of Dreams.
Why do they have to touch a good thing?
Yeah.
You don't see Alabama doing that.
I like it. I like the change.
Do you?
I like the Field of Dreams uniforms. I love the old school look. Personally, it doesn't really matter to me what uniform they put on as long as they win. But I think it's a nice change up. You know what I mean? I think the Yankees are starting to kind of turn the tides a little bit. I think they're just going to try to start something new just to keep the fans happy and interested. Because at this point, if they don't win, you're going to have some issues. But no, I like the jerseys. I think they're going to be sharp.
Can I make a recommendation? When you know the Yankees have really turned the tide, what did they do? Not even a
Got rid of the facial hair policy.
Yeah.
Right?
ding, 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 ding. That's when you know the Yankees have turned over their leaf.
It is the dumbest thing in baseball, in sports, probably. It's just absolutely ridiculous. It's time to change it up.
You know what I realized in one of these stupid groups I follow on Facebook? I don't know if it's White Adam Schefter or Black Adam Schefter or one of them Schefters. Is that, you know what? I listen to dumb shit and read dumbass comments, and you know, the NIL came up, and hopefully I don't know if we talk about it, we do or don't. But one thing I realize is it's 2024, and no matter what I say, I'm wrong, and the athletes should get everything that they're supposed to get. And I'm just like sitting here smashing my head, and I'm typing and I'm typing and I'm typing, and then I'm deleting because I'm like, I don't know if I should say this.
You don't want to go back to jail, you know?
That's
like
why my profile's at risk.
I'm screening my responses. There's no reason I should have to screen anything. I'm just speaking truth. But people get so crazy these days. I don't know. I'm not a fan. You guys already know. I said the NIL was going to be a disaster when they started it. I still believe that. But we do have somebody who might be getting an NIL deal at some point of his future. Jordan. I'm kind of curious what you think of the NIL, being that you're generations younger. What do you think of NIL, and do you think that the NCAA is doing the right thing?
I have followed stuff about the NIL for a while. There was a YouTuber actually. He was the kicker for UCF. His name is Donald De La Haya, and he was ineligible to monetize his videos because he was a D1 football kicker for Central Florida, and he decided to quit football in order to pursue YouTube, and that kind of got the whole movement going. As is, do I like it? Maybe not necessarily. I like that college athletes are able to use their name, image, and likeness, but I think the money is ridiculous. The money is ridiculously high. We've seen stories with like it might not necessarily be NIL, but just getting money in general. You saw Caleb Williams. He was looking to get a lot of money in order to stay at USC. So, I mean, I think that it's interesting to see how much money they do get, but I don't necessarily hate the NIL as a whole.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. And just to be clear, I don't hate the NIL. I just think it was a bad idea. Right, Kev, the way it was constructed.
Yeah, you were 100% right about the way it was constructed. They basically said you can do it, and it's a free for all now.
Yeah, and it pretty much is. And now we're in the portal's more like
the portal's a mess, Ray.
It's a disaster, man. It's like free agency. You know what I mean?
The tampering is what they're trying to crack down on. We just saw Florida State get nabbed. And Florida's under investigation, which means Miami's next. And
definitely,
listen, everybody does it. Everybody tampers. That's the problem. Like, it's kind of like selective enforcement. Everybody does it, but they need to have better rules in place for that. Not every place is for a particular kid, but when you see these guys transferring 2 and 3 times, and certain kids are eligible and certain kids aren't, I just think the NCAA never gets anything right. So
yeah, fair. Nader, you got any insight on that?
I kind of agree with Jordan. I mean, I look at it this way. Like, I do think it's great that the players are able to use their name and likeness. I think that's fine. The fact that, I'm hoping that we see the new NCAA football game and we see some names on the back of the jerseys. I think that would be awesome. But
Right.
for me, like the money, I think giving somebody that young an extravagant amount of money to play a college sport is crazy, in my opinion, because in the long run, I think it leads to poor decision making.
Sure.
I think you see, you talked about Caleb Williams, the stuff that he's requesting, and it's like he's a free agent in the NFL. Like in my opinion, it makes Caleb look real bad.
Yeah.
And what NFL team's going to want that drama? These dudes in the NFL, they're going to want Caleb Williams behind the helm. Like, I don't think so, dude. I don't think so. I know you do, Kev.
That kid's
you're used to a dumpster fire anyway.
Listen, I don't care what he gets. I want to win. No, I get. Listen, I get where he's going, and he's right. I'm just,
I just think I think it's bad for team chemistry eventually. Like if Caleb Williams, he gets paid whatever, that's fine. But you got these dudes that are playing in the NFL that are not going to like that. And I think it just causes drama in the locker room or the clubhouse, however you want to put it. But I mean, listen, they should be able to represent themselves and get the, be on the posters and on the commercials and stuff, whatever. That's fine. But the money is just crazy to me. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
They got to figure out a better structure. That's all they need.
I've always said this, Ray. Give the kids. I've never had a problem with them getting money because the NCAA makes billions off these kids, and they're the worst organization in the world. I agree with Nader though. I think that the majority of it should be for when they get out of school to prevent them from, if you give a kid $100,000, you could still make poor choices. But if you're giving a kid $5 million a year to play a college sport, he makes more than his offensive coordinator. Then you got kids that like come in as freshmen. You don't even know how they're going to be, and they're making all this money. The hardest part though is you got 85 kids on scholarship, right, Ray?
Yep.
How does that, like, when you look at that and like, how do you control that? You not only have to recruit, but you have to recruit your own kids so they don't leave. Mm-hmm. Basketball, it's different. There's 13 kids. Football is nuts. I don't know how they do that.
Yeah, you're talking, what's a roster? 50 or it's more in college, right?
85 scholarship kids. There's over 100 kids on the roster. You cannot have these kids going into the office and saying, I'm going to go here if I don't get this. It's just it's a slippery slope.
Yeah. Dude, and honestly, look what's happening down in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
They're dropping like flies down there.
Well, their coach left. I mean, I know it's happening to Alabama, so everybody's freaking out. But this is Alabama was getting the number one class every year and then going and cherry picking anybody they wanted from the portal. So now it's a problem. That I don't agree with.
I'm not saying it's a problem. I'm just saying, geez, like that was sought out. Now they're bouncing. And that's crazy.
Yeah.
So
it is.
All right. Well, that was a little bit off the script. It's kind of how we do things around here. Hit it high and let it fly. Let's jump right in to this past weekend, man. It was a crazy weekend of football, divisional football. By the way, if you haven't gone over to our Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok, go and check out The Hook at The Hook Sports. TikTok at The Hook Sports 860. Also, go on, check out over Scotzo and Nader Show over on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok also. And I believe you can follow Nader on X, or formerly known as Twitch. So a little bit of stuff for you there. But now we're going to talk some football. And why the hell would we not? Because it's our favorite time of year. At least it is for me. And looking at the first game of the weekend, we saw Houston travel and take on the Baltimore Ravens. Not the best game of the weekend. It was probably the worst game out of the three. Still good football. Starting off with that game, Nader, what anything stand out to you as far as expectations moving forward with the Ravens, or what'd you think of the play CJ Stroud and Nico Collins?
Listen, first and foremost, I think you can't be more impressed with how CJ Stroud handled himself and in the performances that he put on in his first year. Just unbelievable. Like one of the best seasons I've seen from a rookie quarterback. He is calm, cool, collected. He acts like he's been there for 10 years. I just think that the Ravens are just too good. The Ravens, I liked Houston because I think in my brain I kind of wanted the underdog there just to see CJ Stroud keep going and see how far he can make it. But no, Nico Collins, that Houston Texas team has a lot to be proud of, and I think they have a very, very bright future. I think you're going to start to see players want to go play over there, which is great. But the Ravens were just too good, man. They were more prepared, and ultimately the best team won. So in my opinion, I think it was the eye test said Ravens, but I really kind of wanted to see Houston win just because of the story and the first year head coach, rookie quarterback, Nico Collins. Like there's a lot of really good storylines in that season. So, but ultimately, like I said, the Ravens were the better team. They were more prepared, and overall, it was not a great game, but still very, very impressive to see what the Houston Texans were able to do this year.
Sure. Kev?
Agree with everything he said. I think it's a fun team. I've said, excuse me, multiple times that I love CJ Stroud coming out. And I think he was great. And sometimes these young, talented teams and these really great young quarterbacks have to go through a road bump like this. You see it happen to all these great teams and great quarterbacks where, they win a playoff game and then they get beat by, a better team. And, it'd be interesting to see what they add, who they add, and they're going to be fun for years to come.
Jordan, what was your take on this game?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like Nader said, like CJ Stroud had an insane year, throwing for over 4,000 yards as a rookie, throwing no picks whatsoever during the regular season. But at the same time, I just think the offense just wasn't moving. They had 38 rushing yards in the whole game, which is almost unheard of. I haven't seen a stat like that in a while. Looking at it, Lamar Jackson had more rushing yards than their whole team. He had 100 yards.
Yeah.
He had 2 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns, and that a thing that I said when we were going through our brackets not too long ago. When the Texans beat the Browns, I said, yeah, the Browns defense is good, but the Ravens are a whole nother level. Did I expect them to be this good given injuries and stuff like Kyle Hamilton? I believe he tore his ACL on week 18. But their defense is legit. Their whole team is legit. Lamar, probably the MVP. It's hard to stop him. So that's what I got.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And if you go and you look at the box score, and looking at it, nothing really like jumps off the page. I mean, obviously Lamar accounted for 4 touchdowns. That's the thing that really jumps. 152 yards passing, like you said, 100 on the ground, 252 yards out of maybe a total of 400, maybe not quite 400 yards of offense in that game. Yeah, it's pretty obvious what the Chiefs need to do. It's pretty obvious what the Chiefs need to do to stop the Ravens. You stop Lamar and you win the football game. And by the way, the Chiefs look pretty good right now. I'm just going to throw that out there. They are clicking. Yeah. Andy Reid and Patty Mahomes is I don't know how comfortable I would be right now. I don't know how comfortable I am, and we'll talk about that when we get there.
Yeah.
We're not there yet. So moving forward, later on Saturday night, Green Bay took on the 49ers. And that was a game, man. That was a hell of a game. Probably one of the most disappointing finishes that I've seen that I can recall in quite some time. But again, I watched another game that was disappointing to end too. Niners and Packers, man. Jordan Love, Brock Purdy, Debo. Looks like what's going to happen with him. That's important coming up for this weekend, for that conference championship game. Kev, but what'd you take away from the Packers and the Niners game?
I thought Green Bay's plan was great. Obviously, the 49ers are the goods. I was a little surprised. I know how good Debo is, and I know we joke back and forth about the 49ers and of the past and now. The 49ers have a ton of weapons, even without Debo. I was surprised the impact you know, it was going to be an impact with Debo going out. I was shocked a little bit with how much of an impact, because, you know, but again, I think that like the plan for Green Bay was really good. And there was a couple of things that happened in the game that were the difference. Obviously, the interception, he had 2 of them, Love. We talked about how he can't turn the ball over. And there were a couple of drop interceptions, one being a pick 6. So when you look at those situations, that kind of, in my opinion, was the turning point. But they played a heck of a game, Green Bay. It was a shame, as you said, though, you know, the ending being poor. It was a shame that it ended that way. But you know, I thought both teams played really hard, and I was impressed with Green Bay in defeat because I didn't think the game was going to be close.
Fair. Jordan?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the start of the playoffs, the headline of the Packers-Cowboys game was the Packers saying, "We're not supposed to be here, so let's cause some chaos," and they did. I think that, you know, all their young guys were clicking. They got a very young team, especially on the offensive side, and they had their struggles. You know, Jair Alexander was hurt, and that's their go-to guy, and he wasn't really able to perform like he did through injuries. As for San Francisco, it's the San Francisco CMCs. That Christian McCaffrey is a dog, man. He had, let's see, 17 attempts for 98 yards and 2 touchdowns. One of the touchdowns basically sealing the game for them, gave them the lead late. And you know, as far as the Packers, again, Jordan Love, you know, young guys got to learn. He really hasn't been in a situation like that, especially from the Cowboys game. He had the lead the whole game.
Yeah.
His defense really stepped up in that game. So, you know, as of next year, I think they're definitely a team to watch out for, see what they do in the draft, free agency. But yeah.
Nodder.
Listen, Kevin, I mean, all you guys brought up really, really great points. I agree 100%. You know, to see Jordan Love succeed like that, it makes me super, super happy. Going back to seeing, you know, his mom in the nosebleeds for his first start, and, you know, all the Aaron Rodgers drama and you know, the supposed, you know, the alleged hate and discontent between Rodgers and the Packers, and Jordan Love just kind of being there. He's like, hey man, like, listen, I didn't choose to go to the Packers. They drafted me. You know what I mean? And listen, what he was able to do, again, it's very similar to him and CJ Stroud. I mean, I think their numbers were almost identical come playoff time. You know what I mean? So I was very happy to see Green Bay play, and Jordan nailed it, man. It's CMC. I have a very difficult time betting against Christian McCaffrey, man. He's on another level. He is hands down one of the best players, if not the best player in the NFL, in my opinion. You just can't bet against that guy. I mean, he catches the ball, he runs the ball, he doesn't stop. The dude's an absolute machine. So yeah, Brock Purdy, you know, a lot of people are like, Brock, yeah, you know, they were giving him a little bit of a hard time during the game. Oh, if he didn't have those weapons, if he didn't have Debo and McCaffrey and all these guys, he wouldn't be good. Listen, he's getting it done though, right? Like, you got to get the ball to your guys. And I think the 49ers are a great football team, but overall, I predicted that the game was going to be close. Of course, the ending was heartbreaking. I have several friends who are big Packers fans, and they had a tough time with it, but overall it was a fantastic game. One of the better games I've watched in a long time. So again, like the Texans, Green Bay's got a lot to look forward to. And the 49ers are the 49ers, man. They're absolutely stacked. So, and Kev, I agree with you too. Debo, he's a major weapon, I think, but if he's out or he's hurt, they have other options and they can still win football games with ease, I think, without Debo Samuel. So overall a fantastic game to watch though. Really, really enjoyable.
No, it was a wonderful game. I'm going to add a little bit more, but first, what's up, Randy? What's going on? Good to see
Randy.
Nodder.
Thanks for the shout out, Randy. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir, Randy. Thank you for joining us once again, and please fill up the comments because we'd love to answer. And we're going to get on that Bears question in a second. One name that we did not bring up though in this Packers and 49er game, Aaron Jones, man. Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones. Holy shit. Dude came back. He balled out for the last 5-6 weeks, however long. I mean, was it that many weeks? Not sure, but he balled out. He had 18 for over 100. And what a difference Aaron Jones makes for the Packers. They need him healthy for next year, and I believe that the Packers will be that team. But the other thing too is like, you're kind of giving them a CMC stats. He accumulated for only 128 total yards. That's a win for Green Bay. Only 128 total yards. And if he didn't break off that 39-yard scamper towards the end of the game there, they would have held him under 100 yards rushing and receiving, which is a unbelievable, fantastic stat if you want to like kind of look at the game and how the game went. You keep that dude in check, you got a chance to beat him. And that's what the Packers did, man. So, if I'm gonna add anything to what you guys added, because you guys all had great stuff, that's all I'm gonna add to it. So Randy says, do you think the Lions can beat the Niners? Listen, Randy, we're going to get into that very shortly. Right now we're going to touch on the Lions Bucks game, then the Chiefs and the Bills, and then we're going to jump right into next week. We're definitely excited, or this weekend coming up. I'm sorry. We're definitely excited to talk about it. Moving forward though, the Bucks face the Lions, another fantastic football game over the weekend. We saw the Bucks, come up short. You saw that. I'm going to use Jordan's word, that dog in Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield is a dog, as Jordan would say. I have a whole newfound respect for Baker Mayfield. That guy is the heartbeat. He's the soul. And that dude is not afraid. And I never realized the arm strength on Baker Mayfield because he throws laser beams everywhere. Jordan, what's your take on this Bucks Lions game? What'd you get from it?
Going off what you said about Baker, I've always thought that he was gonna be a good quarterback. The only time that I've really questioned that take was when he got arrested on draft night. So, but overall, he had that dog in him. He had 3 touchdowns, I believe. He threw for 349 yards. And that was but the moral of the story, can't turn the ball over. You saw Green Bay lost the game off of a turnover. You see the Bucks 2 picks for Baker. So it was interesting. And as far as Detroit, Jared Goff, another great game, very accurate in that game as well. And he didn't turn the ball over, 2 touchdowns, 0 picks. But for me, I think it was Jahmyr Gibbs who really stole the show there. He had 9 attempts and he had 74 yards off 9 attempts, which is unbelievable. And he had a touchdown and he had 4 catches for 40 yards. So overall, I think as far as next week, it'll definitely be another shootout. I think it's going to be a crazy offensive game. But yeah.
Nice. Kev, what was your take on this?
I thought it was a really good game, and I agree with you. I've watched a lot of Baker. Obviously, I was shocked at how strong his arm was too. I knew he had an arm, but I mean he was throwing darts.
Lasers.
They got Baker Mayfield is the type of quarterback, and this is like for a lot of these guys. If he's in the right system with the right players and the right coach, he can be very good. Joe Flacco had success. Nobody wanted him. He had the right coach, the right group around him. He had some success. So I was surprised. I was surprised at some of that with Tampa, but no, I just impressed with Detroit overall. I'm not sure that and we're going to get into it. I'm not sure with this week. I think it's tough, but I thought it was an old school physical, hard-nosed game. And again, at the end, trying to drive down with not much time left, he made a mistake. But really well played game, old school. I liked it.
Notter.
Great game. I've been on the Lions all year, man. I've picked them a lot to win this year. I've made out very well with those Lions picks. I'm a big fan of the Lions right now. I like them a lot. Jared Goff, seeing him back in Jared Goff form is awesome to see. The fact that the whole city of Detroit, I think, needs this more than anyone, and to see the fans and everybody's so excited about it. It's great to see. It's good for football. It's good for the city. But overall, the Lions obviously were the better team, and Jordan said it too. It's the turnovers in the playoffs, man. Baker, you can't turn the ball over, and everybody always says that, right? Like, we're not in the NFL, but especially in the playoffs, you can't turn the ball over. Baker made a couple mistakes, but I've always been a big Baker fan. It's just like Kev said, he never really it seems like he just never really had the support around him to make him good. And Baker's the type of guy, he's got the cocky attitude, he's confident, and his skill level is there. It's just he's never had the right program and the right staffing and players around him. So it was really good to see Baker. I said he's comeback player of the year. That's my opinion. I think there's nothing close. But no, overall good game. I had the Lions picked in that one, but I would really like to see the Lions make a push, man. Like Kev said, it's going to be a tougher game this upcoming weekend, but I'm all in on the Lions, man. I love watching that team play. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, overall great game. Another one. The playoffs have been really enjoyable this year.
Absolutely. And to quote Baker Mayfield on the city of Detroit, you're talking about, who Baker is. And I mean, Baker's gotten some negative pub, positive pub though. He's quotes, this is a great atmosphere. You can tell the city has a lot of pent up emotion and been awaiting this for a long time. I can't say that I exactly went through in Cleveland when we went and made our playoff run because it was a COVID year, but this place, they've earned that. So
that's a lot of respect there for Baker. Yeah.
Sure. Full respect for, the city of Detroit, coming from a, South Florida guy over there, or Western Florida guy in Tampa. My biggest question is, why don't they give Jahmyr Gibbs the ball more? Honestly, I'd like to know why. No disrespect to David Montgomery, but I feel like if anyone's going to get more touches, I think Jahmyr Gibbs could get it, because every time that guy touches the ball, you don't know if he's going to pop. He is so fast. He is so smooth and slick, and he gets between the tackles, and when he hits the edge, he's gone. So I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see if Dan Campbell is going to give Jahmyr Gibbs an opportunity to maybe get a little bit more. Give him the rock, man. Give him the rock. He had 9 carries for 74 yards and a touchdown, and then he caught 4 passes for 40 yards. I mean, he only touched the ball 11 times and he accumulated 111 yards. Like, I'm not comparing him to CMC, but he's putting up McCaffrey numbers. Those are McCaffrey.
He's a stud, right? He's a stud.
Yeah.
No, absolutely stud.
Give him the rock.
No, for sure. And I know we shared in the group text the Lions. Sam Laporte has been a little bit banged up. He's going to be full go on Sunday, obviously. But they went and they signed Zach Ertz.
I like that.
You think it's a good signing?
I do. I think he could make – listen, I like him. I've always liked him, and he's a veteran, and I think he'll just add another really positive presence in that locker room.
Yeah.
But you're right. Listen, I love Gibbs, and I agree with you. I think they try to keep him fresh. But, like, this week, they better give him the ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're gonna need him. They're gonna need him big time.
Oh, let him hit that edge and take off, man. Big time. So the last game of the night, and oh God, we didn't even talk, and we didn't even really bring up the field goal in that Packers game. But what a freaking mess. So why do I bring that up? Why do I bring up the missed kick to send the game into overtime? Because we're going to talk about the Bills game right now. We're going to talk about the Bills and the Chiefs and the woulda, whoulda, coulda, doulda, shoulda, doulda. But thing I got to say about that is Josh Allen he's pretty much been thrown under the bus all season long. Some of it deservedly so. Turns the ball over quite a bit. But what he does for that Buffalo Bills offense is on a whole nother level. To sit and listen to some of these programs like Stephen A. and how Josh Allen can't get up for the big game, and then how Tom could, and then they bring up, Vinatieri made field goals, and this guy missed a field goal and pretty much ruined their opportunity to continue to play the game. Josh Allen balled out, man. Would anybody disagree with that?
No, he balled out, and that throw to Diggs that went through his hands was a huge, huge play.
How far?
That ball was thrown on a rope. Like, you see dudes throwing those balls like 20 yards away. This dude threw it 60-something yards on a rope. It was unreal. Went right through his hands.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's insane. And I mean, is this karma in a sense? Is this karma in a sense for Stephon Diggs from all of the,
I'm the best, this and that. Yeah.
you know what I mean? And listen, I don't want any bad karma. I'm high on Buffalo. I'm going to remain high on Buffalo. We'll see what happens next year with their cap and everything else. But I just think that Josh Allen's going to win a Super Bowl, and everybody's on his back, and they're shaming him. And I'm just like, man, do you even watch football? Like, are you hating on this dude for what reason? Yeah, he only threw for 185 yards.
Yeah, but the conditions were terrible, and he had 3 situations where the long plays should have been completed, and they were either dropped or they went through the receiver's hands. If that play if that was completed to Diggs, that changes his stat line completely. It's a 60+ yard catch.
No, dude.
The conditions were terrible too.
Listen, it was cold, right? It was a cold game. But they scored 3 touchdowns.
They
The
did.
Bills scored 3 touchdowns. Josh Allen had something to do with every single one of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He ran for 72 yards on the ground.
Dude,
You know what I mean? Like, what?
I absolutely love watching that dude run, man, because he doesn't care. He doesn't care if he breaks his ribs or his leg. He just does not care. He would run through a brick wall, and it wouldn't phase him. I don't understand the hate on Josh Allen. I really don't. I mean, I understand he doesn't have a Super Bowl, whatever, man. He is still one of the best, and I agree with you, Ray. I'm on the Bills too. I love the Bills. I really wanted them to win, but yeah, I don't get the hate, and people give Josh Allen such a hard time, man.
So
No,
what
they
do they
do.
need? Like what pushes them over the top?
The Bills?
Yeah. Like you go
Honestly-
into the offseason, like what? Because I always thought they had an issue at running back. I love James Cook, and James Cook obviously showed, especially when Joe Brady took over.
Yeah.
He I have no idea why I'm so big on the screen right now.
Been working
I-
out, bro. You took
I,
over. You even took over the screen. You're so
I have
diesel.
no idea why that happened. But like, so we can't say it's the running game. We talked about that like last year with him having the pressure to run more and that being like, stress on his body. You want him long-term, obviously. What do they need? They got a tight end. They got a receiver. They got a running back. Their offensive line's strong. Their defensive line's strong. Maybe what do they need to go to get to that next level?
A
They
head
need a
coach.
roof. They need a roof over the stadium, is what they need.
A
They need a
dome.
head coach. Sean McDermott, you got to go.
I think they need an offensive head coach.
Yeah, they
They
got
do.
Sean McDermott's not the answer. I mean, he's a great coach, but he's not there. He's not there to put you to where you need to be. You're coming up short. You can't blame the players because I feel like they've been in a position just about every loss that they've had. They just can't get over that hump.
Right.
You know what I mean? The greatest football game ever played was when Mahomes beat him in overtime. That was one of the greatest football games I've ever watched.
Me
That
too.
was
And-
incredible.
No, and I thought it was going to happen again this year. It was close. I mean, Tyler Bass, I don't know what the hell. The wind must have been whipping
The
down.
wind. It was the wind it looked like a bad kick anyway, but the wind like pushed it quickly.
It was a 44-yarder. It was a
Dude,
40.
did you see that he deactivated all of his social media accounts because he's getting death threats? Did you see that? That's horrible. That's horrible.
that's
Yeah,
bad.
he's getting death threats. He's getting harassing messages. So he got rid of all of his social media. Like that's brutal. Yeah, and this is coming from Bills Mafia, right? Like the Bills fans are pretty loyal, and I understand that he missed the field goal and the wind was blowing, man. And I appreciate the comment there, Rupa. That's fantastic. I tried out. I didn't make it.
Do you like how I put it on there because it's on the big screen now with you on it?
Yeah,
I was
it's
waiting for
perfect.
I was waiting for the right time, and I think I nailed it.
I
I think I
appreciate-
nailed it.
I appreciate the support from him. He's right on the money there.
Nice.
But yeah, no, it's a shame to see that happen. I mean, the kick was, like Kev said, it wasn't a good kick to start, but I mean, look at the conditions, guys. We gotta remember, like the Bills had their fans shoveling snow.
Yeah.
Like that's insane. That is absolutely insane to me. And listen, they showed up, they shoveled the snow. The conditions were still bad. I don't think you could have paid me money to go to any of those games out
No.
there in Buffalo.
I told
Um,
Lauren that.
Yeah, that's wild, man. And you got to remember the conditions that they were playing in. And I get it's a part of the atmosphere in Buffalo, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the head coach is the right answer. I mean, he's gotten them close, but it's just the same thing over and over again. They just can't get past that point to get them to where they need to go. So maybe it's time for a change. I don't know.
I agree. And that's why you don't play, Ray. You don't play for a field goal. And they left Mahomes too much time on the clock anyway.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
how much time he drove them down the field? Wasn't it last year? He had like minimal time on the clock, and he just kept boom, boom, boom down the field. You don't play, and especially in that situation with the conditions. You don't just sit back. I didn't like the play calling. I love Joe Brady. I did not like the play calling. The last three play calls I thought were terrible. And 44 yards, boom, wide right. Wide
Yeah, it
right.
was wide. That's like when you play Madden and you take the arc and you move it all the way to the right and kick
Right.
it. That's what that looked like. That was it. Tough times out there for Mr. Bass, man.
By the way,
Man,
obviously, I had a little surgery last week. I had my wisdom teeth pulled out. So I was off for a week, and you brought up Madden. I got to be honest. I think I played probably like 45 games of Madden in like 5 days and just vegged out like a vegetable.
You got to do
I
it.
was
dude.
I was a whole stalk of celery. Oh God! But you know what? I didn't miss any kicks. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, not that bad. I'm
Jordan
sure.
says the power went out. Maybe Roger Goodell hears his conspiracy theories and is knocking them off the air.
Dude,
Yeah, I
honestly, he's
agree.
got full contact to what is Eversource. So he screwed you guys. He
Can
screwed
we
you
give
guys.
credit though? We're talking about Buffalo, and I know we're going to talk about Kansas City more. Can we give credit though to Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs? And Kelsey has not had the Kelsey type year you'd expect, but he was big when it mattered. This Kansas City team is so different than we're used to seeing with Tyreek Hill and all the explosiveness. They're almost built better, Ray. They're better on defense. This is the best defense that they've had in all of these runs. And Pacheco is a stud, so they can run the ball when things aren't going right. They have balance, and their defense, especially Chris Jones, is underrated. People don't talk about him as much as they should. He is a beast, Chris Jones. But I just give credit to them. I know we're going to get into it, but I'm so impressed.
Well, let's just keep on going. I mean, we're right there. We're about to jump into it. So why don't you give us a little bit? Keep going, Cav.
No, I mean,
give me some insight. What are your thoughts on the game for
the Baltimore KC game? I have Baltimore in the Super Bowl, and I it's not that I'm against that, but as you pointed out earlier in the show, when you look at how Kansas City's clicking right now, that is a scary, scary team with a Super Bowl winning coach, with a quarterback that's just he always finds a way, this guy. And it's sad because he's so likable, in my opinion, and he's got the family stuff that makes him almost unlikable. But this is why, like, when we people criticize Josh Allen, he's losing to Mahomes. Right. Like, he's pretty good, no?
Yeah. I mean, so Mahomes and Burrow, right?
Right.
Mahomes and Burrow.
They just had
listen, it took Peyton Manning a little while. You know what I mean? He had Tom Brady in his way. Right now, Josh Allen has Patrick Mahomes in his way and Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Two of the best in the game, and you got to play both of them. So Josh Allen's definitely going to have a tough road. It's been proven that it's a tough road because he hasn't gotten a dub yet. By the way, Chris Jones is such a beast that they paid him $25 million this year, Kev. So let's not forget about that.
No, he's making money.
$5 million for a DN. It's pretty good.
Bro, I know. Nationally, he should be talked about more, in my opinion.
Yeah, I know. And you know what? And they know. We know who he is. We know what he's about. So Kansas City, 3.5 point favorite going into this weekend's game.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Dog. 3.5 point dog. Excuse me. 44.5 points is the over under. Randy says, is there any chance that the Chiefs lose? And we have Jordan's conspiracy here. I'm going to post that up in a second. Any chance the Chiefs lose this weekend? Nodder?
With the way that the Baltimore Ravens are playing, absolutely. I mean, listen, the Ravens are a very, very good football team. I think this game is going to be incredibly close. I agree with Kev. The Chiefs are playing very well right now, and let's not forget who their quarterback is. And like you said before, I don't really know if it's safe to bet against Patrick Mahomes. We talked about it with Brady all the time. Like Mahomes has a ton of postseason experience. The dude manages the clock well towards the end of the game, especially when the game's close. The Ravens are going up against, I mean, you got two of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right there. So I think it's going to be very close. I think there is a good chance that the Chiefs lose. However, I don't feel comfortable betting against Patrick Mahomes. I really don't.
I know.
I don't. As much as I would love to see Lamar go and win a Super Bowl, because I do like Lamar Jackson, but dude, I find it very difficult to say, oh yeah, they'll beat the Chiefs when Mahomes is the quarterback. I don't know, man. It's not for me. I don't feel comfortable with it. I might not even touch this game, to be honest with you. If anything, maybe I'll take a money line chance, but
Money line.
I don't
Listen,
know.
when the Chiefs are getting 3.5 points, I feel safe to say I'm probably going to take those 3.5 points because A, they can win outright, or B, it's going to be a close game. I think.
You don't think that the spread changes though by Sunday?
You don't got to wait till Sunday to bet it.
I know. I'm just
put
saying.
that sucker in now. Bump it up a half if you have to. You can always play with the lines. I mean, I learned something last night in an NBA basketball game. By the way, I bet 2 basketball games in the last couple days, and I'm 2 for 2. I sent you guys a picture in the gamblers thread that we have, and I had 11 out of 12 wrong.
Wasn't your best moment.
How can you do that? Like, honestly, I'm mush, dude. But I hit a couple in basketball recently, and Jordan's back with us. So let me go to here and then go to there. So talking about basketball, a friend of mine, we're going to get right back into this. You know what? I didn't go crazy. You know how I like long shots and high odds? I go plus 400,000 because I do like 13 things. This guy, a friend of mine, he said the Celtics are going to beat the whoever they played last night. Who the hell did the Celtics beat? Oh my God. I watched the first half. Oh, the Mavericks. He goes, you take the Celtics money line. He goes, Tatum and Brown, both over 20 points. It was 3 bets, but the payout was only plus 128. Plus 128. That was it to hit all 3. I'm like, oh, because I told him, I go, dude, you don't want me to play this. He goes, no, play. I go, if I play it, you're going to lose. He goes, no, I don't believe in that. All right, fine. I'll play it. I played it. It hit. But when I looked at it, I was expecting to be maybe plus 375, plus 400. It was plus 128. He goes, when I bet, he goes, I try to get it to even money. I'm like, oh, okay. So I put one in on my own tonight, and we'll talk about that next week. Good. Anyway, so, getting back into, and by the way, Jordan, I'm glad that Roger Goodell put your power back on. Thank you for coming back. I think that looking at this Baltimore-Kansas City game, is the Kansas City defense is the X factor. The Kansas City defense, and I know I'm going against the conspiracy theory of Baltimore being in the Super Bowl because the sky is lit up purple and black, or the logo, I'm sorry. But
the sky.
I'd start singing, but I'm not very good. The thing I like about the Kansas City team is their defense. We talked about it. Kev, you mentioned Chris Jones. They have been playing the best they've played since I've ever watched football as far as the Kansas City defense is concerned. And there's one guy that needs to stop on the Baltimore Ravens, and that guy's Lamar Jackson. Russell said Lamar hasn't gotten hurt yet. Does that mean that's going to happen on Sunday? I don't know. Hopefully not. But Kansas City's going to focus on them, and I think Kansas City could pull off the upset in Baltimore. I don't even know if it's going to be an upset because it's Patrick Mahomes. But they got that offense clicking right now, and if there's a team that I don't want to play in the entire NFL, it's not the Chiefs. I'd rather play the 49ers. I'd rather play the the Lions, or even the Ravens. It's going to be a good one, but give me the 3.5. Give me the 3.5. And honestly, it could be a low scoring affair. Could be a
Could be.
20. It could be a 21-17 game. Could be a 20-10 game. We'll see. But if I got to lean, I'm leaning towards KC and Taylor Swift. I mean Travis Kelce. I mean Patrick Mahomes. So I don't know. Nada, did you already give your take on this one? Because I know I went.
I did.
All,
Yeah,
I went
I
all
did.
kinds of.
The over under is 50. The over under is 50. No, I'm sorry. It's
44 and a half.
44 and a half. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if that
44 and a
hits.
half.
I don't know. But yeah, I gave my 2 cents. I said I just don't
went
like
with the
betting
all.
against Patrick Mahomes. I don't
I
like
do.
it. But
Sometimes I do that thing. You know that thing I do? I just go off onto like left field when I'm playing catcher.
it happens sometimes.
But it is what it is. Jordan, what's your take on this game, man?
I mean, look, I've said it before. Lamar's a dog. Lamar is a dog.
So you're taking
And,
you have the Ravens to win the whole thing anyway, right?
Yeah, but no, I think both games are really going to be a shootout. I know I touched up on the Detroit San Fran game, but I mean, I think what it comes down to is Kansas City's defense. Can they hold Lamar? I'm not sure what the status is on L'Jarius Sneed because I know he got hurt. But I think if he plays, it'll definitely be a close game. Obviously, without him, I think it's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, I don't see him anywhere on I don't see him on the injury report. So it sounds like he should be out there.
Yep.
He's definitely not in the report, so that's good news. So another game that we're going to talk about, we got the Lions and the 49ers. Lions and the Niners, bang, bang, Niner gang. And Randy, we are going to get to that question about what's up with the Bucs coach because we were talking about that earlier in our group text. Crazy. But first, it's the Jahmyr Gibbs versus Christian McCaffrey. Who do you guys like? Who do you like in this one, Kevin?
I like the 49ers. It kills me to say that because I like the Lions, but and maybe it's because, I feel the Lions' pain being a fan of Washington, but I think it's going to be a really, really tough game. Again, another old school running the ball. I worry a little bit about those corners with the receivers for the 49ers, but I think it's going to be I think the 49ers will win a close game.
Close one. 7
Yeah.
points, by the way. Right now, the Lions are getting 7. They got a plus 260 money line, and the OU is 50.5, where the Niners obviously are -7. They're also a minus 320 money line favorite. Nodder, you got those numbers, and I know you're pretty good with them. Where are you leaning in this one?
I'm in the same boat as Kev, man. I would love to see the Lions pull this one off, but the 49ers are just such an offensive powerhouse, and the eye test tells me that it's going to be the 49ers. I would take the 49ers -7. Honestly, I think if McCaffrey goes off, whether they have Debo or not, it's I don't think it's going to be as close as people think. Like I said, I would really like to see the Lions make it close or maybe even win the game, but I think 49ers take it home. I would go 49ers -7, which I'm probably going to do. So that's my thoughts on it. Yeah, that's my thoughts.
Okay. Jordan,
I
what do you like?
sorry. I also like there's a part of me that likes the over too on this at 50.5. So I don't know. We'll see when it gets a little bit close. Yeah. It might be. Goff has been on fire, man. He's been good. So it takes him a little bit to get going, but once he gets rolling, man, he's been playing very well.
Tough place to play though, too.
It is.
What do the Lions have going for them? What do they have going for them? Jordan, what do you think about this game?
High scoring. That's really all I can touch up on.
Really?
High scoring.
Yeah, I like the high score too, Jordan. I do. I don't know why. I just got this feeling, man.
So this is what I got. The one thing that Lions have going for them is that they've had one of the best rushing defenses in the NFL. Top 5 NFL rushing defense. On the other hand, They're in the middle of the pack against the pass. Now, my thing is, if you can stop Christian McCaffrey, you're going to have a chance to win the football game. The 49ers, they can throw the ball, but the Lions can really throw the ball. I mean, they chuck the thing all over the field. How many passing yards a game? Top five offense. But you know who's right behind them, though, is the Niners. So I guess they're pretty fair in the passing game. It's going to come down to that really the Detroit defense against the run.
I agree.
If the Detroit defense can slow down CMC, then I think the Lions are probably going to have a very good chance of winning the football game. 7 points is a lot. And right now, we don't even know if Debo is playing. Like, have anybody read anything on whether or not Debo is going to play in this football game? Because if Debo is playing, that spread's going to jump to double digits. If you're going to grab it, I'd grab it now at 7. If you're going to take the Niners, if you're taking the Niners,
yeah,
you're jumping on it right away. Take the 7 points because that line's only going one direction. It's not going down. It's going up.
Yep.
It's down for the, you know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go any higher than 7. I feel comfortable at 7. Anything more than that's kind of touchy.
You guys don't. I think he's going to play. It's just a matter of how effective he is.
I mean, he gets out in the field, so he's questionable. He's questionable. The thing that scares me about Debo, he didn't fracture his shoulder, so that's good. No fracture. He's still
drug him up. It's the NFL.
Drug him up. It's the NFL. But you know what? Like we watch him run, and he runs violently.
Yeah.
Like he's not your typical, hey, I'm coming across the middle and I'm gonna like lay my body on the ground. He's more like I'm coming over the middle and I'm gonna take your head off before you take my head off because I'm Debo fucking Samuel.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be an interesting one, man. I'm looking forward to it. I'm taking probably gonna take the points in that game. But I'm gonna wait because when they say that he's playing, I do think a lot of the people are gonna load up on the 49ers, and I'm gonna wait for that line to go up. And when it goes up, I might snatch it and take Detroit, but no Debo, no over. That's my prediction. No Debo, no over. So that's what I got about that. What I got for that, guys. Jordan's got a conspiracy of the week. We'd all love to hear about it.
Yeah, so as you can see right there on the bottom of your screen, I don't think it's a coincidence that there's a possibility that we could see a Harbaugh brother versus Michigan. I think that's a little weird to see, you know. Another thing is that if roles are reversed, we get another Super Bowl rematch. And I put a little joke one in there. Are kicked footballs remote controlled? Are they? Because it's starting to feel that way.
I mean, I bet you if you ask 100 Buffalo fans or 1,000 or 1,000,000, however many they are, they're all going to agree to that they are remote controlled. And they're remote controlled to say wide right. Oh, God, what a horrible thing for them poor fans out in Buffalo. They deserve better. The Mafia should really kind of collab and figure out what they're going to do with the rest of the NFL.
I think Carlson in the playoffs should have his brother put on his jersey. Put Daniel in the game instead of the rookie. Clearly, he can't do anything. So,
oh my, yeah, the kickers failed this weekend. It was a kicker weekend. It was unfortunate, but hey, shit happens. Shit does happen. So obviously, a few things are going on right now. We mentioned Harbaugh. Allegedly, Harbaugh could potentially be the new head coach for the LA Chargers. How scared should the NFL be of that? Honestly, honest question, because I know that division belongs to Patrick Mahomes right now, and Denver's kind of, they got what they wanted with Sean Payton, and obviously the Raiders just signed Antonio Pierce. Congratulations to Antonio Pierce. I'm super happy for the dude. I was definitely on the Pierce train, chugging along, choo choo. He's a new head coach, but Jim Harbaugh comes to AFC West, and now you have these other 3 teams, or right now it's the Chiefs division. Does Herbie and company take over the AFC West with Harbaugh at the helm? Kev,
It's a great. I mean, it's a great question. Like, I think we have to also factor in the fact that Andy Reid might retire. Travis Kelce, we don't know what he's going to do. He's in love and all that. And those, losing Andy Reid, it would be a huge deal. I mean, he's a ball coach. I don't know about takeover, but I think that the credibility, when you look at how talented that team is and how badly coached they are, and you look at how good of a coach Harbaugh is, I think it's fair to say they're going to be in the mix. And I think they'd be a tough out. And, Harbaugh wins quickly everywhere he's been. And I think it'd be good for Justin Herbert, because I think they've wasted his talent the last couple of years. I think it would be something. So yeah, I think that I'm not sure. I'm willing to say with a Patrick Mahomes that they're going to take over, but I think they'd be right in the mix, and it'd make it a lot harder for everybody else because he's that good of a coach.
Yeah, no, he is. He's a game changer, and I think it's fair to say, obviously, there is a bloodline of Harbaugh coaches, beginning with the father, and then what John is doing with Baltimore over the last, God, how long has Harbaugh been in Baltimore?
Forever.
15, 20 years.
Yeah, he's been there, I think. Yeah.
So when they go somewhere, man, they dig their feet right in and they get settled. And what they're doing, I mean, I don't want to call it a program, right? Because that's more college based, but the establishment in Baltimore is phenomenal. Because they're there every single year and they compete every single year. And you got to give a credit to the coach always, because right. I mean, I saw what Bill did in New England. And Jim has done it in Baltimore, and Tomlin's done it in Pittsburgh. Obviously, Andy Reid does it wherever he goes. So for Jim to come back to the NFL and settle in Los Angeles with Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa and Derwin James and
Slater,
Justin Herbert,
the running back. I mean, they're loaded.
Dude, they are a very good team that is so so bad. I mean, underperformed. Terrible. Brandon Staley, worst coach in the history of coaching.
Should have been fired last year.
He should have fired with his analytical bullshit, with his 4th and 3s on whatever yard line it was. I mean, they got knocked right. Did they make it? Did they miss the playoffs that year because of his stupid call, or did they get knocked out in the first round? I don't remember. But all I know is the dude went a lot of fourth downs.
Right.
A lot of fourth downs and a lot of missed calls. I mean, he might have hit a couple here and there and looked like a hero, but at the end of the day, boy, do you suck. So on with Brandon Staley we go. Randy's got a question. Go ahead.
Before you go into the question, do you think Jim really wants to stay at Michigan and all this stuff with the NCAA is why he's going? Or do you think he is just like, he won a championship, it's downhill from there, and he's ready to try to go get that Super Bowl?
Pete Carroll.
Yeah. Well, Pete left. Pete left the same way, only I don't know what they're going to do to Michigan, but Pete knew something was going down there.
Listen, smart man will run.
He did.
That's what Pete did.
He bounced.
That's what Jim's doing. He's out, man. There ain't no amount of money for you to make me deal with this shit.
Yep. I did my job. I won. You asked me to win. I did. You deal with it.
Yeah, your job is done. Get out. Pretty simple. Your job is done. Get out. So nice job, Jim.
So you think he just is ready for a new challenge? Okay.
Absolutely.
Dude,
he can win a Super Bowl, man. And he's got a quarterback. Like, you're going into a situation. You're going into a good situation. That's why I was, I kind of wanted Bill to do the thing with either the Cowboys or the Chargers, because I believe either one of those two teams are ready to win. More of the Cowboys than anybody. But
I told you why. But I told you why. That Harbaugh and Bill like to control things, and Jerry Jones, if those guys have 3 balls, Jerry Jones has 4 when it comes to control. Go ahead.
What you got anything on that?
No, I mean, I think you guys summed it up as far as the Chargers go, yeah, they're an extremely talented team and just absolutely piss poorly coached. You know what I mean? I think Harbaugh goes in there if he gets it, which it kind of the stars are aligning there. I think it's great for Herbert, man. Like I would hate to see that dude continue down this path with the bad coaching and the bad decision making because he's way too talented for that. And I think Harbaugh goes in there and makes some positive changes. I don't know if they make it difficult for everybody else, like super, like I don't know if they're in the mix as far as the playoffs go, but I think you're definitely going to see some improvements in the decision making and things like that. So we'll have to see, but I think overall you guys hit the nail on the head with all that. So
All right, question from Randy. NBA question. And this is involving the Bucks head coach, Adrian Griffin, getting axed. Coached 43 games this year. He led the Bucks to a 33-10 record, and he got fired. I know we talked about it. Huh?
Is he the coach? I thought
He's the head coach. He's the head MF in charge, bro. He's the guy that's, subbing in, subbing out, putting in the lineups, screaming at the referees on the side. Apparently there looks like there might have been some tensions at practice. And the Bucks have been terrible on defense. They lost 4 of their last 5 games. And they're in the bottom of the league as far as points given up. They see the slide. I guess there's some tensions in practice. I mean, that's about all I got on that one. I think it's crazy. Like the dude's 23 games over 500. You're in the playoffs. You're like sitting at a 2 seed right now in the East. Probably, I think only behind Boston, and you're getting fired. That's insane to me.
There's got to be something more there. I mean, I'm not a big NBA guy, but to see them fire a head coach after, they're having a great year, that's kind of bizarre to me. There might be something underlying there that we don't know yet.
Yeah, you know how it is in the NBA. The 2 superstars don't like him.
Yep.
That's the way it works.
Rumor mill. Go ahead.
Crazy.
Rumor mill has it. Doc Rivers. Well, heads up for that one, because there's a good possibility we might see Doc in Milwaukee now. Well, dude, talk about walking into a freaking situation, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want to deal with that, depending on what the tensions are in the locker room, man. I don't know.
Yeah, but you know what? It's kind of like Baker Mayfield in Tampa Bay. You know what I mean? Like Doc obviously is a good coach, and he knows what he's doing. I think, right? I mean, he's kind of. You would
imagine.
He was good in Boston.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't actually. Wasn't he with the Clippers before he went to Boston, or was that after?
No. Yes, you're right.
And they were pretty damn good because he had who do you have? He had what's the big guy's name there? Blake Griffin, Chris Paul. Now before him, Andre Jordan.
Yeah,
Andre Jordan. Yeah, they were flying through. What do they call those guys? They were highlight reels, man. Dunk City, Lob City. Is that who they call themselves?
I'm pretty sure it was Lob City. Yeah.
Lob City. Yeah, that was good, man. He did good with them. So, yeah, that's pretty much it on that. I think it's absolutely nuts that he got fired, but hey, you're just a number. You're just another coach that got the axe.
You
I think Roger Goodell should get fired too.
Roger Goodell, fire Roger, you're saying?
Yeah, he's flickering my lights and all that. I don't understand. I think I'm onto something.
Oh my God. I understand. Randy wants to know, does Belichick go to the Falcons?
Yes.
No.
Not her?
I don't think so. I think in terms of Bill Belichick, that guy's a very private man. And I think it was almost a little embarrassing to have your highlight of the season be that you interviewed a coach. It was pretty weird, and I think that if he does go there, I think that they're definitely a team to look out for because you have Bijan, and I think that if you get a quarterback, because I don't think Desmond Ridder is like that. If you get a quarterback that can handle that young talent, star-studded offense, then they could go some places.
Yeah, they got a couple key pieces. Kev,
So then
Connor.
where's Bill going then?
He's going to go to Atlanta. He's going there.
He's
Why
going to
go
LA.
anywhere? Why go anywhere,
going-
dude?
He could-
Retire off into the sunset. Enjoy retirement, man. He's 71 years old. Like, dude, you have nothing
Mark-
left to prove. You got
He
nothing
wants
left
the
to
win rec- He
prove.
wants the win record. I'm telling you, he wants the win record.
Yeah, he does. And I mean, you know, I just listen. You coached probably the best to ever do it, right? I mean, why? Just you have nothing. I mean, the win record is pretty amazing. I mean, let's be real. I mean, he's going to go to the Hall of Fame, right? Like, dude, enjoy your retirement, man. These guys stress themselves out, and he goes to the Falcons, and what if he shits the bed? What if the team shits the bed? You know what I mean? Then it's like he ends his career coaching a Falcons team. That's, I mean, yeah, they have a lot of talent, but I don't know, man. If I'm him, I'm calling it a day. Peace out. I'm going sitting on a beach somewhere. Although he probably would just sit in his office or something. I don't picture Bill being a beach guy, but yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't. I have no clue where Bill ends up if he doesn't end up in Atlanta. I don't know if I'm not sure where he
Does
ends
he
up.
take a year off like that?
Yeah,
and
could.
come
Yeah,
back?
maybe.
You know what I mean? I get
Yeah.
it. I
It's
still
just
think he's
it's a
going-
weird situation. I don't know. I don't know. If I'm him, I'm enjoying, like you said, Kev. Maybe he comes back, but yeah, I don't know. It wasn't going to be.
feel
It
you,
was never going to be Dallas. It was never going to be Dallas.
Yeah,
but
dude, come on.
would have never happened.
You never know. Sometimes people will put down their, differences in order to take a step. Sometimes you got to take a step back, take a step forward, one step back, two steps forward, whatever,
I mean,
whatever.
everybody laughed at Dick Vermeil for going to the Rams, and I mean, it's he didn't coach forever, and then they had the greatest show on turf and Kurt Warner and everything. I'll say this, and we can sum it up with this: if he goes to Atlanta, they have to figure out. They have to find a way to get a quarterback. How they're going to do that, I don't know. They have weapons on offense that I don't think are used the right way. Kyle Pitts is used so poorly, it's not even funny. And I think Bill would help on the defensive side. Arthur Blank's a great owner. He's going to let him go do what he wants to do and shop for the groceries or whatever Parcells said. But, Notter may be right. I think he's going to Atlanta. We'll see what happens.
Where does Atlanta pick in the draft, Kev?
8th.
Yeah, I mean, who's going to be there for a quarterback? You know what I mean? And then you're Penix. Yeah, Penix. Yeah. I guess
McCarthy would probably be there too. I think McCarthy's projection was like 16. But
I don't like McCarthy. I don't.
I don't know if Bill wants. If I'm Bill dealing with another rookie quarterback situation like he had to deal with Mac Jones, like I don't know, man.
By the way, if you want to see Kev's mock draft, go over to I think it's on Instagram and on Facebook.
It's a great mock draft, by the way.
Take a look at his mock draft. He threw it together. He put it together rather quickly. I'm like, Kev, I need a mock draft, and I got it.
He's had this mock draft written up for 2 years now. What are you talking about?
But he's like, I don't know where they're gonna go. I need more about the coaches. I got to see.
I need to know who the coaches are going to be. I do, because especially with the quarterbacks 2 and 3, because I put Jaden Daniels in there to Washington and May to the Patriots, but again, and I have Penix going to Atlanta at 8. I just maybe that's a little high for him, but everybody remembers the championship game and how much he got hit and how much he struggled. Don't do that. Just like don't evaluate the helmet, but I think it'd be a good fit. And especially with the running game, veteran offensive line that's done a good job. He's got a couple weapons, probably could use another one. I just think Penix is the kind of quarterback that Belichick would really like, because he makes really good decisions. He really does. So we'll see what happens.
You know what the most intriguing thing to me is, honestly, is number 1. It's the most intriguing pick to me out of the whole draft, because the Bears were so much better when Justin Fields got on the field.
Yeah.
And they have the number 1 pick. And obviously we know that Eberflus and the GM flew out to, Southern Cal, and they interviewed Cliff Kingsbury, and they picked his brain about Caleb Williams. And now Cliff Kingsbury is maybe the potential new OC in Chicago, because they loved everything that Cliff Kingsbury had to say with his extensive football knowledge and his knowing of Caleb Williams. That's a little scary for me as a Justin Fields guy or a Bears fan that's wanting Justin Fields.
Right.
Because he could be gone. He could be traded. You know what I mean? Like,
Dude, no, you're right.
I really want to see what happens with one. Honestly, that's the pick I'm really concerned about. I know we have 3, but if they go grab Caleb, where's Justin Fields going?
That
You
is
know what I mean?
another spot for Atlanta. And then you're talking about like the Bears, like if they trade the 8th pick for Justin Fields, okay, just for example, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if they did, that's a spot for a receiver for Caleb. It's a spot for an offensive lineman potentially to protect Caleb. I'm telling you this. I've watched a million quarterbacks, and Caleb Williams does some things that he needs to improve on. Like he'll eye down somebody, and probably because his offensive line stunk on film, he'll key in on his first read at times and then just take off. And then other times he'll go through his progressions. But overall, I have to be convinced. I have to see it to believe that they're not taking Caleb Williams. And Justin Fields has been inconsistent. He did play well when he played, but
great.
You know, I think that you can't pass this kid up. You just can't. And then they can get more picks for Fields, who, you know, is interesting when you look at how he progressed. So
New England. I'll take him.
I know you would,
Yeah.
but so Atlanta would take him. A lot of teams would take Justin Fields, but again, whether Kingsbury gets hired there or not, they're not trading that pick. I would be shocked if they traded that pick, and then we'd say, well, that's a Bears type of move because they do some silly things. But
Well, they could grab Caleb, trade Fields to, let's say, Atlanta, and then grab the 8th pick. I don't think Fields would be a first overall pick, though. He's not a first round draft pick trade.
No,
what is he, a third round pick maybe for Fields?
I don't think the teams that want quarterbacks, dude, we've seen quarterbacks go way higher in the draft. When you're a team that believes with that quarterback, we can make a run, we could change our team. Like in Atlanta, it'd be a lot of fun because he can run and they could do a lot of backyard stuff, which would be kind of cool to see. Again, I'm not saying they will trade the 8th pick. I could see a team like between 16 and 20 that needs a quarterback, maybe looking at that. But if they did and they traded the 8th pick straight up for a quarterback, and I could see that happening because if you land that guy, you're in the mix. It's just the way the rules are, and it's just the way the game is. But you know, again, I can't see the Bears not taking Caleb. I just can't. Overall.
Well, we'll see what happens. That's to be determined. Nader, Jordan, you got any insight on that one?
No, I think that summed it up. I think this year is the number 1 overall pick is definitely something that could be really unexpected. You know, obviously, I think that the Bears like Fields. I think that they should trade the pick. Obviously, you can get something really good out of that pick. You know, they're not the best team in the league. They have some holes, so maybe trade and get a top guy in one of those roles to a team that might need a quarterback.
I would counter that by saying they have a ton of picks. Like,
True.
How many picks are you going to get? Like, you got a chance to get a quarterback that can change your entire franchise. Listen, I'm not hating on you, but it's like you can't pass that up. You can't. My opinion.
Who will the Vikings quarterback be next year?
You know, that's funny that you say the Vikings, because there's a lot of rumors that Kirk Cousins may end up in Atlanta if Belichick goes there, and that would make a ton of sense. Then you're talking about names like Penix. Potentially, maybe they move up for him. Maybe they stay put and take him, and he slides a little bit. That's a J.J. McCarthy type spot right there. You know, but
does McCarthy go in the first round?
Yes,
most likely. Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh, okay.
I would think like early 20s maybe.
Where does Derrick Henry go next year?
Dallas.
Dallas. Ooh,
I wouldn't hate that.
I don't hate that either, to be honest with you, Kev.
They'd still be a first round.
I'll tell you what I'd hate, though. I'll tell you what I'd hate. I would hate if Barkley goes to Dallas. That would be a
they'd be
nightmare.
so good. They'd be so good. Oh
I
my
think
god.
Henry's kind of like he's taken so many hits. He can still be productive. He could still help you really, really win games, especially in short yardage. And I'm not saying he's completely out of gas, but he's heading down. If
Yeah.
you put Barkley in Dallas,
Good Lord.
that's a problem because every time that would help Dak not screw things up. That'd be a
Yeah.
mess. Oh, God.
Hey, little update on my my bet that I placed for this evening. It was the Nuggets money line, Joker over 20, and Jamal Murray over 20. Right now, there's a minute and 16 left in the fourth. The Nuggets are up by 4. Joker's got a triple-double, 28, 12, and 10. Meanwhile, Jamal Murray has 31, 8, and 6.
There you go.
Nuggets pull it out. Winner, winner, chicken parm dinner. Somebody give me a big loan. I'm about to go bonkers.
Raise an NBA, raise.
Hey, so far your
I
picks
am
have been
not-
better in
I
the
am
NBA than the NFL, so that's good.
Honestly, I'll be 3-0 after tonight. And like one was a college basketball parlay. Yeah. Yeah, but you know what? I told you guys in the group message, just when I bet $5 or $10 that I win. If I do 50 or more, forget about it.
Forget about it.
I feel like I'm just giving it up. So anyway, listen, before we get out of here, because we've been doing this thing for a minute,
Yeah.
I need to know, Nodder, and I know I share this in the group message. We saw, is it the Big Hickory, the Big Smoke, the Big Oak, James
Big Maple.
Paxton, the Big
Big
Maple?
Big Maple.
He signed a 1-year, $11 million deal with the Dodgers today.
Yeah.
Looks like he's getting a ring.
Ray,
Hey,
I'm
it's-
surprised you haven't signed with the Dodgers yet.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I'm waiting for my contract to come in the mail.
Yeah.
To be honest with you,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I could dress up as a nun and say that I'm not sure what I am. I don't know what to identify as. I'm a nun. They're weird out there, man. I don't know. That just sounded weird. I was just trying to.
You're a
figure it
riot.
out. I'm spot on. It is
You're
what
a
it is.
national treasure, Ray.
National treasure. Are the Red Sox going to do anything? Dude, that's a great question, Randy. The answer is absolutely fucking nothing. Because they're worried about their budget. They're going to keep their
Did you,
payroll low. They're going to keep the payroll down. They got booed. Did you see the TikTok of them getting booed?
I was just gonna bring that up. They got booed. The president and then
Breslow.
chief of baseball operations got booed at their fan fest.
Deservedly so. Honestly, if I had any fruit, I would have thrown it at them. If I could throw a watermelon from the second story or the bleachers, creeper, whatever creatures they are, and I could reach, I would throw it 90 miles an hour at them.
Yeah.
Thing would explode everywhere.
It's pretty cool.
It's another shitty year for Red Sox fans. It is what it is. Just hold on tight and root against the Yankees like I'm going to do. That's probably the best advice I can give anybody who's a Red Sox fan is just grab your local tip your local garbologist and keep banging them trash cans, baby. It's about
Yo, wait, Nodder, do the Yankees trade for a pitcher before the season starts?
I think they're done trading, Kev, to be honest with you, man. I think, it's funny. Michael King came out today and in an interview and said that he felt like the Padres made out the best. And I think that's a slight towards the Yankees, but no, I don't think so. I really thought Dylan Cease would have been a great fit with the Yankees. I think the White Sox, who are, I don't even know the word, their organization is the worst. But I don't listen. There's still a guy named Blake Snell out there who has no other offers except the one that the Yankees offered him, and I think Scott Boras screwed the pooch on that one. I think he overvalued Snell for what he is. I mean, right. I understand he's won 2 Cy Young awards, and that's great, but you can't forget that Snell had a really, really bad first half last year, and he's been inconsistent a little bit throughout his career. But listen, I would still take Blake Snell in a heartbeat. I still think the Yankees need another starting pitcher. The whole entire season, or the I should say the pitching staff is going to rely so much on Carlos Rodon. It's not even funny. Like,
That
this dude needs to
scares
come. Yeah, I know. And you're not really sure what you're going to get with Rodon. He came in out of shape last year. He was hurt. I don't really know if they couldn't diagnose an injury for this guy. So I think he was just out of shape and he wasn't ready to pitch. And that ultimately hurt the Yankees in the long run. But I think they're done trading. Neris is out there. He's not asking for a ton of money. He's looking for like $7 to $11 million a year. Yeah, I don't know. Montgomery's still out there. Like, how is Montgomery not getting a contract offer from anybody? Spring training is less than 20 days away. So the pitching market's weird right now. And I think Yamamoto's contract absolutely destroyed, contracts and free agency for a lot of these other pitchers with the amount of money that the Dodgers gave them.
Right.
But we'll see. I wouldn't mind seeing Blake Snell in a Yankee uniform, to be honest with you. If we can get him for the 6 at 150, I think that's a great deal.
Right. Last question for just baseball stuff. If the Yankees do not sign either pitcher, they go into the season, do you think that they'll trade for a pitcher at the deadline?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're gonna have to.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to. And the problem with the Yankees is, I'm hoping, and listen, I love Marcus Stroman. I've been a huge Marcus Stroman fan for years. I think he adds a nice piece to that rotation, but he's not the answer. And I know the Yankees paid Rodon to be a number 2, and he hasn't showed up, obviously. I know it was his first year, but I think they're relying heavily on Rodon and Cole, and that makes me a little nervous because you can't have Cole go out there and be the guy by himself, Right. So we'll see what happens. But, yeah, I think if they're in the race, Kev, I think you see them definitely trade. I think Gleyber Torres is on the table. I think you see some of their other young guys, Spencer Jones, who is like the left-handed Aaron Judge, I think.
Yeah.
He's a possibility, but you got to remember too, the Yankees are also probably planning to pay Juan Soto an astronomical amount of money next year to stay with the Yankees. So I think they're kind of putting that in there as well. So we'll see what happens.
Jordan, you got anything you want to touch on that? Looks like you're chomping at the bit talking Yankees.
I think if they don't pick up Snell, I wouldn't hate if they gave Trevor Bauer a chance. Obviously it's a tough situation, and I don't. It's a rare sight to see the Yankees get a guy who's loaded with all this drama. But at the same time, like he's a hell of a pitcher. He's maybe not what he says with a top 15 pitcher in the world, but I do think that he's definitely a guy that if you have at the 5, then it's definitely going to be a problem for other teams.
All right, before we wrap this up, I know I just said that, but I'm going to say it again. 3 players elected into the Hall today: Adrian Beltre, Todd Helton, Joe Mauer. Gary Sheffield on his 10th year of eligibility didn't quite make the cut. Only 63% of the vote. Andrew Jones in year 7, Billy Wagner in year 9. They were the closest. And then you go down from there, and you got quite a few players who are still in their, first few years of, being elected into the Hall. It's not looking good for my man, Manny Ramirez. Can't understand why. But
it absolutely kills me that Gary Sheffield is not in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Dude, put the steroid guys in. I'm tired of this. I know our boy Scotzo is doesn't like I think it's so put them in their own room. Get them in. It's ridiculous. Put them in their own room.
Put them in their own little hallway
on top in gold, and everybody can walk in and take pictures. It's ridiculous, in my opinion.
It's a joke.
It is. Manny Ramirez is a Hall of Famer, dude.
Yeah. I think it's fair to say we're all in agreement that the Hall of Fame for baseball is pretty much a fucking joke anyway.
It's pretty bad. You got writers that haven't wrote about baseball in 20 years voting in the Hall of Fame. It makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, Nuggets a winner, 114-109. Let me count them pesos.
Congratulations, Ray. It's a huge win for you.
$10 bet. Cha-ching. Cha-ching.
Hey, you still won, so.
Hey, show me the money.
You could buy like 10 Patriot franchises with that.
Yeah. Wait, what? What are you talking about over there?
He's talking a little smack, Ray.
There ain't enough money. There ain't enough money to buy any Patriot franchises. It's $1 billion franchise, bro.
More like free.
Ooh.
Free. I'll take
Throwing
it.
it.
You sending me a free Gillette Stadium? You ever been to Patriot Place? You been there?
No, I've never been to a football game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, you need to get on Dad and let him know, like, yo, you gotta take me to Gillette because Gillette's a special place.
I
It's
don't think
definitely
I
one
want to
of
go to Gillette, respectfully.
Yeah, me neither. Gillette sucks.
Their
Nah.
season tickets are like $10.
the- Yeah, when and maybe in the 1980s. What's up? What's up, Bob? How you doing?
Say, Bo, you should be in bed.
Go
Uh-oh.
get some sleep, Bo.
Just playing
So you-
basketball.
Go. That's fine. Hey, see, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. All right. Any last departing words? What are you guys looking forward to? Jordan, I'll go to you first.
I think hopefully if he's consistent enough, I think last night solidified Joel's MVP case.
We're only halfway through the season.
Oh, I don't care.
But
You know my
did
word.
You hear
You know
Joel,
my
did
word.
you hear what Mr. Embiid said about the best player in basketball, the Joker? Did you hear what he said? to him at
I
the
did
end?
hear him, but that doesn't
All right,
matter.
okay. Kev?
Playoff football, man. I know it might be a corny final response, but I'm just interested. I'm interested to see how the Lions play on the road in San Francisco. I just think that's going to be compelling to see.
Kev, can I add one thing?
Sure.
You're in a tank top on YouTube and Facebook.
Yep.
So nothing is corny. Right? and you have a and what's your shirt say again?
It says
What's it
Kenny
say?
Mother effing
Kenny
Power.
Evans.
See,
Yeah.
dude. So you are fitting the bill right now. You're perfect. There ain't nothing going on around here.
The shirt will
Nah,
come up next week.
Oh, you don't want to do a Jason Kelsey tonight?
Or-
It was
or-
requested earlier in the
I need
comment.
a drink to do that.
It was requested earlier in the comments. Tell Lauren to go get you a shot of bourbon or something. Say, honey. All right, Nada, what do you got?
No, I'm definitely looking forward to the weekend. It should be a good show. It's going to be very interesting. I would really like to see the Lions pull it off, but at the end of the day, it's going to be a tough one. There's a lot of chatter, and I know Scotto feels very strongly about the fact that Joe Mauer isn't a first ballot Hall of Famer. I will challenge him on that on our show later this week. I think Joe Mauer is a first ballot Hall of Famer. If you look based on the other catchers that have been put in the Hall of Fame, I think he's there. It does upset me that Sheffield is not in the Hall. I really, really would have liked to see Billy Wagner in there too, man. He was like a stepping stone for closers, and he was doing it for a really long time. So no, but other than that, just you know me, guys. I'm a baseball guy. I'm looking forward to spring training, but I'm very, very excited about the NFL this weekend. Should be a good show.
Awesome.
Well, since you guys are on the NFL and basketball, I'm going to veer off. I'm going to go to the Australian Open.
Oh, Jesus. Here we go.
I knew you were going to go here.
Listen, I'll be honest with you guys.
This guy
I love majors. I don't care if it's tennis, golf, whatever it is. I love majors. I watch majors. I'm a fan of the Australian Open. I'm a fan. Aussie. Anybody?
I'm about to get a Foster's.
That you're supposed to go oi oi oi. Isn't that how
Oi,
that
oi.
goes? Isn't that thing you do when they do that? Is it European or is it Australian? I thought it was Australian. Don't they say Aussie anyway? So listen, Novak Djokovic is coasting through right now. He's in the semifinals on the 25th, which is in 2 days, which is Thursday against Yannick Sinner, an Italian. Number 1 versus number 4. Thursday night. That's going to be a pretty good one. Thursday afternoon. It's 8 p.m. Thursday. So I'm looking forward to Novak winning another major. The guy's sensational, phenomenal athlete, one of the greatest that we've actually watched the best tennis players ever play in our lifetime.
We really have.
The greatest ever. So from Serena to Sampras, and after Sampras was Federer, and we've got obviously Novak and what's the Spanish guy's name that I can't think of right now?
Nadal. Isn't he French? Whatever.
And Rafael Nadal, Spanish. He's Spanish.
Maybe you're right. I don't know.
Yeah.
Nadal.
Anyway, guys, great show, a lot of fun. We'll look forward to doing it again next Tuesday night. Potential live stream this weekend, Nader. maybe,
Let's
possibly.
go, dude.
Yeah, we should
Well-
try to do one. I got to as soon as I get everything should be set up in the new office hopefully by Saturday. So I say if it gets done, then let's do a live stream during one of the games for sure.
Sweet.
I think
Sounds
we should
good to
just
me,
do the
guys.
first one. So yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Yo, great to see you, man.
Of course,
Have a
Kev.
good
Of
night.
course.
Great show, boys.